as we're growing, the condition or environment of our inner person is changing. When we're babies, we only are aware of our need. I'm hungry. My rear bumper is dirty. Would somebody pick me up? You know. And so we are very consumed with our need. Our need is the center of our world. And so anything we say or do, we cry, we whine, we whatever, is based on our need. But as we grow up, we become able to be aware of and motivated by things outside of ourselves, things more noble. That doesn't mean we're at fault as a baby when we're consumed with our need. That's just the way it should be. But as we grow up, we're learning to be aware of and motivated by things more noble. When we begin our growth process in God, we were pretty much consumed with our need. God, I'm sorry I sinned. I don't know if you can stand me anymore. Could you please forgive me? And I don't know if I could, that whole whining kind of self-preoccupation type perspective. And so we brought that right into our intercession. And we recounted the evils and the ills of everything that we were going to pray about. Well, Lord, let me tell you how many evils there are in the world today, because I'm sure you haven't remembered that. So I'm going to tell you all about it, And sadly, that was a lot of our rhetoric and our narrative as we interceded, was to recount the evils and the ills in the course of our prayer. And I think, and here's the key phrase or key point I want to get across. We speak out of the abundance of our inner man. The scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so whatever's on the inside is what comes out. Now, as we're growing and we're learning new ways, we're also going to have to coach our minds into new patterns, new response patterns. In other words, it's not just my needs now that will dominate my prayers. It's, Lord, what's on your heart today? And then beyond that, it's, Lord, how do you want me to administer what's on your heart today? And it may have almost nothing to do with us, because why? We're maturing. We're growing up. We're learning how to be God people of God. We're learning how to have the capacity to have the mind of God, and then the nature of God. And so in our prayer times, so what we just did this morning in our activation was, it had nothing to do with us. Let's not say we can't pray about ourselves. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that we're learning a more mature way of how to walk in the kingdom, administrate the kingdom as God people rather than babies. Babies are good as long as you're in the baby age of life, the spectrum of life. That's appropriate. But we don't want to still stay babies when we're 40-year-olds, right? So I just say, I think the Lord is just giving us understanding of, first of all, what maturity means, and then understanding of how to walk in maturity. And so when we say the definition of intercession is changing, I think this is one of the definable ways to actually put your finger on the pulse. Like, oh, look, it really is changing. It's not about me, my, and mine, and my pain. It's about, Father, is this what you're calling me to? Oh, it's my delight to be about my Father's business. Jesus said in John 4, my food is to do the will of the Father. He didn't say my food is to tell him how much I need him. Now, that's important, especially as we're getting established in God. That is important. But as we're moving on in, Father, what's your design? What's your desire? What's your business today? So anyway, what we did today, I love it. I love it. I love it. I feel like it's another one of those little hallmarks and milestones along the way that God's helping us to grow up. The Lord is transforming the internal environment of our being. Now, He's already made our spirit perfect. He is renewing our soul, but our mind and the way we think, the way we perceive, the way we look at ourselves and look at God and look at others is being renewed so that we don't use sin or darkness as the center of our universe or the component that creates identity. No more. No more. Now we're moving into righteousness consciousness, into being conscious of our righteousness and the righteousness of the kingdom that's being fashioned and formed in us first. And then as it is, it begins to come out and change our world around us. It's a dynamic transformation that's happening. It really is. Romans 12:2. Be transformed by the renewing of our minds so that we can approve the good and perfect and acceptable will of God. Well, so how do you do that? It's a new mind. So the internal environment of our being is being upgraded. Thereby we get transformed.